In this video, let's look at the 19th sum from the chapter Accounts for Incomplete Records. So this sum goes as Arun carries on a hardware business and does not keep his books on double entry system. The following particulars have been extracted. So they've given you two columns with the dates 31/12/2018. So 17 is going to be your opening balances of the assets and liabilities given there, and 31/12/2018 is the closing balances. In the other information, they've given you certain expenses which are to be recorded in the profit and loss account and can be used in the total debtors or the creditors account also. Down there, they've explained it saying that total sales during the year is 7,70,000. Purchase returns during the year is 30,000. Sales return 25,000. Depreciation of buildings and land by 5%. Provide 1,500 for doubtful debt. So these are the adjustments. And then they've said prepare trading and profit and loss account for the year ending 31st December 2018 and a balance sheet as on date. So we have to prepare the final accounts for this particular sum. We came across all the items, but there was no opening capital given in the sum. So we have to prepare a statement of affairs as on 31/12/2017 and find the opening capital. Secondly, credit purchases was not given in the sum. It was only the purchase return, sales, and the sales return is given. Therefore, we must open a total creditors account to find out a credit purchase apart from the final accounts what we are going to do. So let's start off with the statement of affairs. So statement of affairs as on 31/12/2017, the format is ready. Keep in mind, statement of affairs is same as your balance sheet. Therefore, your credit side is going to be your assets and your debit side is your liability. So now we have to take the values from 31/12/2017 column and record it according to the asset and liability aspect. So the liabilities which are given over there is the creditors. Only the creditors is being given. Therefore, I record creditors on the liability side, and according to that particular column, creditors is 50,000 rupees. So I write 50,000 over here. Apart from this, we do not have any other item recording over here. Therefore, the last item is going to be the capital, which is the balancing figure. The main reason for opening this statement of affairs account to find the opening capital. Next, move on to the asset side for the other items. So first one being land and buildings. So land and buildings is 2,40,000. Next item is stock and trade. That is 1,20,000. Next is the debtor, which is 40,000. Cash at bank, which is 30,000. So now, like a normal account, we are going to balance it and find out the values, and then we are going to tally it up with the liability side. So my asset side gives me a balance of 4,30,000, which is obviously is going to be the grand total because we have to find the capital which lies on the liability side. So the asset side total only is going to be the grand total, that is 4,30,000. Now subtract the 4,30,000 from 50,000 in the liability side. So if you subtract it, the answer is going to be 3,80,000 recorded as a capital for this sum. So this is the opening capital which is going to be recorded in the balance sheet of this particular sum. So next, let's find out the credit purchases for the sum using the total creditors account. After the statement of affairs, we are going to start with the total creditors account. So the particulars rupees on both sides of the debit and credit is ready. So let's start with the credit side, because since it's a creditors account, the credit side we will start. So on the credit side, it's going to be by balance brought down. That is the opening balance of the creditors, which can be taken from the details given in the problem. Creditors 31/12/2017 column, they've given it as 50,000, so that is going to be recorded here. Next is on the credit side, it's none other than just the credit purchases, which is the balancing figure. So with that, the credit side will be over. Therefore, credit purchases balancing figure, and we can leave the credit side to rest. Next, let's move on to the debit side. So on the debit side, what's going to happen is we're going to record all the items which are related to the creditors account. So first in line, I'm going to take the cash paid. So to cash paid. So this can be taken from the other information given in the problem. So cash paid to creditors, they have given as 6 lakh rupees. So I am recording the 6 lakh rupees in the outer column. And next I'm going to record the purchase return, that is also given in the explanation below the other information. So purchase return to be recorded on the debit side of the total creditors account. So purchase return given over there is 30,000. And lastly, it is going to be the to balance carried down. So to balance carried down given in the column 31/12/2018, that is 45,000. So this is the last item. So now I must total the debit side and subtract it with the credit side to get my credit purchase. So my debit side total is 6,75,000. So I write this as my grand total on both my debit and on my credit, 6,75,000. Now 6,75,000 minus 50,000 is going to be my credit purchase, that is 6,25,000. So with this we found the credit purchase. Now next we have to move on to the trading account and the profit and loss account, and finally to the balance sheet. Let's start with the trading and profit and loss account. So both the side, the debit and the credit, are ready. So the first item in a trading account is on the debit side. So to opening stock. So to opening stock can be taken from the tabular column 1 from the problem. Stock in trade, that is 1,20,000. So write that in the outer column. Next is going to be the purchases. So in purchases, we have credit purchases only. We do not have cash. So I'm going to write credit purchases over here. Write the amount in the inner column which we found out in the total creditors account, that is 6,25,000. And in the explanation given in the problem, they've given purchase return during the year. Therefore, I'm going to subtract purchase return from the credit purchases, that is rupees 30,000. So if I subtract it from the credit purchases, I'll get a total of 5,95,000 to be recorded in the outer column. Apart from this, in the other information, I have wages with debit side of the trading account. So to wages. So wages is 65,000 outer column. So these are the items which are being recorded on the debit side of the trading account. Now moving on to the credit side of the trading account. So the first item is going to be the sales. So by sales. Now when you take sales, again sales, total sales during the year is given as 7,70,000. So that's going to be our total sales. So directly I can write it over here, subtracted by the sales return given in the explanation of the sum. So sales return is 25,000. So if I subtract it from 7,70,000, the total is going to be 7,45,000 to be written in the outer column. Next, the last item is by closing stock. So this can be taken from the tabular column given in the problem. So closing stock is 1,70,000 recorded in the outer column of the trading account credit side. Now we have to balance the debit and the credit. For that, first let's get the total of the debit side and the credit side. On the credit side, I get 9,15,000, and on the debit side, I get 7,80,000. Therefore, my debit side is less. So I'm going to get a total over here. And the answer for the trading and profit and loss account lies on the shorter side, that is the debit side. So 2 gross profit is the answer. This gross profit is going to be transferred to the profit and loss account. So trading account answer 2 gross profit is being recorded on the debit side. So now the grand total is the total from the credit side, that is 9,15,000. So write the 9,15,000 as your grand total. Moving on to the debit side, after writing the grand total, now 9,15,000 minus 7,80,000, my gross profit is 1,35,000. Now this gross profit has to be transferred to the credit side of the trading and profit and loss account. So I move to the credit side and write there beneath the total by gross profit. So this marks the starting of the profit and loss account. So by gross profit 1,35,000. So after this it's going to be the profit and loss account items. Let's move on to the debit side of the profit and loss account, and now we are going to record the expenses on the debit side of the profit and loss account. So the first expense from the other information is carriage outwards. So carriage outwards is 7,500, outer column. Next in line is the depreciation, which has to be created, which is given in the explanation in the problem. So to depreciation on land and buildings. So the value of land and buildings given in the tabular column is 2,40,000, and depreciation is to be created at 5% out of 2,40,000. So 5 by 100. So depreciation is 12,000 rupees for land and buildings. So next is the sundry expenses, which are given there in the other information. So sundry expenses. So that is rupees 28,000. Next in the adjustments, they've given to provide bad and doubtful debts. So provision for bad and doubtful debts. So provision for bad and doubtful debts are given as 1,500. So directly they have given you the amount, so you can write that amount directly over there. So apart from this, we do not have any other expenses or incomes to be recorded in the profit and loss account. So let's get the total. So on the credit side, we have only gross profit, which is 1,35,000, and on the debit side we have 4 items relating to the expenses, and the sum of the 4 items are 49,000. So obviously the debit side total, that is the gross profit side total, is the largest total, which is going to be written as the grand total. After writing it as a grand total, moving on to the debit side, which has the least values. So this we are going to subtract 49,000, the total of the debit side, with 1,35,000. So the answer is going to be recorded as 2 net profit, and it is going to be added along with the capital. So if you subtract 49,000 from 1,35,000, you get 86,000 as your net profit. So now the profit and loss account is completed. Next, let's move on to the balance sheet. So balance sheet as on 31/12/2018 is ready with the liabilities and the asset sides. So first let's start with the liabilities side, always with the capital first. So capital, which is going to be the opening capital, which we found out in the statement of affairs, that is 3,80,000. Write the capital always in the inner column, because you may add the net profit along with it. So add net profit, and the net profit which we got from the profit and loss account is 86,000. And in this problem we have a drawing, so see that you add and write the balance within the inner column itself, that is 4,66,000. So next we are going to subtract the drawings from the net profit. After the net profit, next we are going to subtract the drawings. So drawings given in the other information is 10,000. So if you subtract the drawings, it is going to be 4,56,000 in the outer column for the net capital. Next, from the capital, we have only the creditors account in the liabilities side. So creditors, closing value of the creditors given in the column is 45,000. With that, our liability side is completed. Now move to the asset side. So in the asset side, we have a lot of adjustments also to be recorded. So first, let's start with the adjustment. So first one, provide 1,500 for doubtful debts. So I start recording with the debtors. So sundry debtors closing balance is 51,500. Now subtract bad and doubtful debts. So bad and doubtful debts of 1,500 is going to be subtracted from the 51,000 of debtors. So you'll get 50,000 as sundry debtors. Next adjustment given is depreciate land and buildings. So next asset value which I'm going to record is land and buildings. So land and buildings value is 2,40,000. From it we are going to subtract the depreciation, and the depreciation is at 5%, which falls to 12,000. So if I subtract from 2,40,000, 12,000, I will get 2,28,000 as my land and buildings. Next, the adjustments are completed. So next we are going to record only the asset values which are left out from the column. So we have stock and trade, or the closing stock for the asset side. So closing stock is 1,70,000. Debtors is being completed. Lastly, we have cash at bank. So cash at bank is 53,000. Closing balance of cash at bank. So we are going to add up the asset side and the liability side and see that the same total is being got. So my asset side total is 5,01,000. Likewise, my liability side also I get 5,01,000. So with this, the sum is over.